Okay. I think we're live. Perfect. Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for being here today at this digital edition of the Motor Valley Fest. I would like to start saying okay? Perfect. Okay, I can start. I think there's a problem with the audio. I think there's a problem with the audio because I'm not listening a delay. Sorry for this. However, I'll put you mute and I'll start anyway. Okay, sorry for this. I start again. So, thank you everyone. Thank you for being here today. And I would like to start saying thank you to the organizer of this event, of the Motor Valley Fest, and for creating this format and let us taking part this event despite the actual situation. I think I should start presenting myself. So I'm Alessandro Chianchiano. I worked in the innovation department in Maserati. And today I would like to talk you not about the changing that the automotive industry is facing these days. I think that many of my colleagues from other companies have already talked to you about that. But what I want to talk about is are the new jobs and new careers opportunity that has been created by these changes. So let me share with you my screen, my presentation. Today I want to talk to you not about the changes that the automotive industry is currently facing, but because I think that many of my colleagues from other companies has already talked to you about that. But I would like to have a more specific focus on new jobs and new careers opportunities created by this changing. I would like to start the presentation in which is a probably unusual way. I would like to start from an end. You're about to see the day when the last of the Maserati Gran Turismo was born, the Maserati Zeta. Zeta means Z in the Modena dialect. And it pays a tribute to Maserati roots. And also, it reminds us that there is a new beginning for every ending. Okay, in the second part of the video, you saw the Maserati Innovation Lab, the new R&D department where the Maserati engineers are working on the next generation of Maserati. I would like to talk a little bit about the people working in Maserati. Maserati is quite a young company. As you can see, 25% of people working in product development is under 30 years old, and another 30% is between 30 and 40 years old. Quite young in comparison to other companies around the world. Another data you can see in this chart, well, I have to say that this chart is quite old. Data comes from 2 or even 3 years ago, but is still a good representation of the situation in product and development. Another interesting fact I was saying regards the young engineers in Maserati, and in particular their degrees. Looking only at people under 32 years old, the most common degree is mechanical engineering, with more than 60% of the people, followed by vehicle engineer, 40%, 14%, and engineering management, 9%. There are other 3% of people with a degree in aeronautical engineering, and another 3% with a degree in electrical engineering. These figures you are seeing right now will dramatically change in the next few years because the needs of the automotive industry are changing. So we thought that the standard engineering preparation was not enough for a company in a market that is moving so quickly. That's why Maserati, a few years ago, has decided to start the PD training program. What is PD training? PD training was a course for the young talents in Maserati with the aim of improving their knowledge and on the industrial process. Let them understand how to work within a large company such Maserati and the whole FCA group, which is even bigger, of course, while teaching them the creative process of developing new ideas that can become later innovation projects that will help us to create the car of the future. With this experiment, Maserati understood how important it was to complete university education and develop the required skills and competencies in young talent to work within our company. That's why Maserati decided to take part to Muner. I think many of you already knows Muner, at least the one who are studying in Emilia-Romagna. But Muner is the Motor Vehicle University of Emilia-Romagna. And it offers 6 courses in collaboration with the most important company of the Motor Valley and 4 of the University of Emilia-Romagna. I think that maybe most of the speakers of this event come from Muner partners. As I told you before, the automotive industry is facing some new challenges nowadays. Car of the future will be completely different from now and will focus on definitely new features. It will be probably driverless, it will be connected, and maybe even shared. So the way we will use our car in the future will be completely different. The car will communicate with all our devices and will create a personalized customer experience for every driver or passenger and even for every trip. Maserati and FCA are facing these changes, of course, and they are now focusing on some key areas of innovation. I want to share with you some of those areas. The first one is related to the environment. So regulation has become more and more stringent. In regards to vehicle environmental performance. And so we are now seeking for a more efficient and less polluting solution for lots of components, for engine, for tires, for fuels. And new generation of batteries, more efficient combustion power units, better emission capturing systems are some of the key issues that our engineers are addressing and supporting by the research group, including also academic teams and trainees. We are working, for example, with lots of university, like the McMaster University in Canada, with a project related to environment and related to the engine of the future. Another key area is the digitalization. Digitalization is really important in the future, not only of automotive, but in many other different areas. So IoT, Internet of Things, big data, artificial intelligence are words that you are keep listening, and these are revolutioning the automotive sector. Today, simulation tools can build digital twins of a car, of an environment, or even a whole city. And automation technologies makes vehicle more efficient and safer than human drivers. So ride sharing, car sharing, all this new way of transportation, this transportation system will allow us to solve first and last mile issue, for example, and will unlock the access to mobility in some of the urban areas. Another, of course, of the main topics is the new mobility. New mobility is related to connectivity, so to the way that cars will communicate each other, and not only cars with cars, which is called vehicle-to-vehicle communication, but also cars with infrastructure, so vehicle to infrastructure. In Modena, for example, there's an area called MASA. MASA, it means Modena Automotive Smart Area. And in this area, you can test the new vehicle, the new autonomous vehicle, and this area will is provided with some of the connected infrastructure, like smart cameras, smart traffic lights that can communicate with the vehicle. Another area, of course, is the Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is, it means that the transformation in the way that goods are produced and delivered. And it involves, of course, IoT, so IoT related to industrial process, and some new process like 3D printing that will allow us to achieve performance that cannot be achieved in any other way. Those new areas of interest for Maserati and FCA, of course, will create a bunch of new roles within the engineering department. New skills will be required, and one of the most important, I think, is flexibility. Since the market is continually changing, your young engineers have to be ready to work on different projects and topics during their career. Let me show you a video to better explain this idea. As you saw in this video, um, a vehicle engineer in Maserati, that's why I was talking about flexibility. A vehicle engineer in Maserati should be ready to work not only with the aerodynamics of the vehicle, but also with the fluid dynamics of a trimaran. So that's why it's so important to be flexible and be ready to work on topics, on things that you're basically not prepared to work on it. Maybe in this video, this could be also interesting because in this video, you saw the new dynamic simulator placed in the Innovation Lab in Maserati. I'm playing a short clip right now to show you again. And because last year, Maserati inaugurated a new area with the Innovation Lab dedicated to vehicle simulator. This dynamic simulator we have is one of the most advanced simulator in the world. And these technologies allow us to reduce development time for a new vehicle, allow us to test in advance many of the characteristics of the upcoming models, like, for example, the behavior of the car, the setting of suspensions, of brake, and lots of many other components. In order to achieve this kind of results, new competence and new skills are required. For example, electronic engineers and software developer are maybe two of the most relevant roles here. I think I can go a little bit quick through this presentation, showing other roles that it was a topic I want to talk to you about, that these changes will bring in within the product and development department. So one of the new roles, of course, will be the electrical engineer. So as you know, electrified vehicles are more and more important in this year. And lots of components have never been studied before in a classical R&D department for in automotive. Something like batteries, like electric motor, like transmission, and battery management system are topics that are really getting more and more important. So electrical engineer will be definitely one of the main degrees in the future that will, where Maserati will be interested in people working in this, having these competencies. Another role could be the big data analytics expert. As I told you before, vehicles which are now connected are providing a lot of data to, and these data have to be analyzed in order to improve the performance of the vehicle, and also to improve even the experience that a driver can feel driving a vehicle. Not only a driver, but the passenger, everyone else, and also can help the OEM in improving all the characteristics, all the performance of the vehicle. And so analysts will be needed in the future to create algorithms, to try to understand better this data and create a better experience, improving the performance of the vehicle. Another interesting role in the future will definitely be the interaction designer and UX designer. I think you maybe don't know what UX is. UX is stands for user experience, and this is related of everything that happened in the vehicle for the experience that the driver and the passenger, why not, has while in the vehicle. This is really important because vehicle can provide lots of information, and we have to give this information to the driver, of course, but the driver should not be overwhelmed by information. You have to give him the information just in the most clever way. So you have to give them the information only when that information is needed. Or even better, you can go further. With artificial intelligence, you can analyze the behavior, the pattern of the driver, so the way he used his car, and you can provide to him that information even in advance. Also, new technologies will be used for this, like augmented reality and virtual reality, that are not completely new to the automotive world. I mean, in the production lines, they are already well known and used, but using these technologies to provide information to the driver or the passengers is definitely a new challenge in the future. Another role that is not usually related to a car maker is the web programmer. Why web programmer? As we said, car right now are connected, and you can connect your car with all your devices. So you can connect your smartphone, your tablet, your house, even your house, and you can use some of the features that are on your car. You can use them from your smartphone and vice versa. So you can control something in your house while you are in the car. And so it's more and more important to have people with competencies and skills to develop software for this. And just an example, if you in the automotive, if we take a luxury vehicle, right now a luxury vehicle has on it more or less 100 million of code lines. Just to have a comparison, a Boeing 787 has 10 million, while the Mars rover, for example, has only 5 million. So that's why it's really important to have people with skills that can write codes and know how to program. Another role, of course, and I think I have to move quite quickly through the presentation, is the autonomous drive engineer. In the future, I mean, all companies are working on this path, in order to achieve as soon as possible the autonomous drive. why autonomous drive engineer? Not only because of, let me say, the hardware part, so developing ADAS and a system that can help the car can let the car drive by itself, but also because the experience of the customer within the vehicle, within an autonomous vehicle, it will be completely different. Because if you are not, if you do not have to focus yourself on the street, on the road, you can spend your time in the vehicle doing some other stuff. So that's why infotainment, all the entertainment system should be redeveloped, redesigned in order to achieve this target, to entertain people in the car. And yeah, that is something all the other OEM in the automotive industry are facing right now. One last role I want to talk to you about is more related to technologies, and is the additive manufacturing engineer. Before I talked of Industry 4.0, and additive is one of the technologies that is getting more and more importance nowadays. Additive manufacturing, 3D printing, allow us to, well, of course, you can print in, you can use different materials, so not only plastic, but also metals. And the main, let me say, what you can achieve is that you can prototype faster than usual. You can save time, and also you can print two different solutions at the same time and testing them at the same time. While with classical tooling system, you can't. You have to create one at a time. So here you can save time, and also you can improve performances, because you can achieve shape that cannot be achieved with classic tool. And this will let us, for example, to save weight. That is one of the most important target for all the car makers. So one last thing for ending this presentation. Like I said, there are a bunch of new roles, new opportunities, and cars will be completely different in the future, and so there will be our customers. But we have to focus on these new challenges, of course, but at the same time, we have to maintain the Maserati value, like our heritage, like our history, and most of all, we must be able to communicate in every vehicle we make, in every car we make, the love and the passion we have for this.
They were a company with great passion, but then Italians are like that. Enthusiasm of the guys there was very, very rewarding to the driver. The 250F was without doubt the finest finest handling front-engined Formula One car, I think, built by anybody.
Okay, so I think I'm at the end of this presentation. This is just if you have any comments, here you can find a link to our page on the website of the Motor Valley Fest, or the QR code you're seeing below is a link to if you want to send us an application. So to the Maserati, if you want to send something to the Maserati HR department to start your career in Maserati. I think that I can end my presentation. All right. And we don't have so much time, but I've seen some questions here. I try to reply to some of those questions. So let me read. What are the requirements of a mechanical engineer you're looking for working in Maserati? Well, of course, we want our, let me say, the basic preparation every mechanical engineer has. Of course, maybe what is needed is something more than that. So, like you saw at the end, could be interesting not only to have competencies, but we would like to have people with passion, so that loves this job, maybe loves the brand. So I mean, that's what happened to myself. I always loved Maserati. I always want to be part of Maserati, and maybe I was lucky, but now I'm here. So maybe passion is something you really want to have. Another question is, I want to ask, what are the future opportunity for a mechanical engineer considering the new needs due to environmental problem? Well, like I said before, mechanical engineering is, a mechanical engineer is someone that can help in solving this problem. So it doesn't mean that, let me say, a classical preparation like mechanical engineer is now is no more needed for this, but instead you can be part of the solution for this problem. You can find you can have new idea, you can find new way to solve problem related to environment, making, I don't know, car lighter, making new cars, I don't know, new solution. Another question, what role could an energy engineering play in Maserati? Well, energy engineering is really important. Right now, Maserati, maybe you know, is facing to lots of challenges, and one of these is starting producing our first 100% electric vehicle. So one of the role can be definitely needed is someone that can work with electric vehicles, so batteries management systems, and maybe not only I was talking about the vehicle, but also all the other stuff related to the vehicle. So, for example, vehicle to grid communication, and all that could be related the charging and discharging of your vehicle. Another question, for a young graduate to start working in Maserati, what are the qualification and minimum experience required? Well, that's another question, because there is no minimum experience you can have. Could be, I mean, there are some skills that of course are required. like the knowledge of English, of course, because we are in an international company, and you will have to work with some other colleagues all around the world. So in North America, in Brazil, in India, in China, and you of course have to know a common language for this. Experience. If you have had any other experience in automotive, that could be very useful. But I mean, there is not strictly related to be hard. I think we are running out of time. So there are lots of other questions. I will try to reply just one more question. So let me check if there is one quite fast. How much important is to have previous experience in the automotive industry in order to get chance to work in Maserati? Previous experience in other industry is worthless? Well, I mean, of course, having other experience is always important. If you have, there's something you can spend when you go to a new companies. You can bring your know-how. You can bring not only technical know-how, but maybe you'll already learn the way the way you work in such a big companies, because it's quite different from what you're doing at the university, for example. Well, I'm sorry, but I think we are running late. So I would like to thank anyone for helping me in this presentation, even with the technical issue we have. So thanks to the organization of the event, and thank you everyone for being here today.